DreAllDay.com.
Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Topic: we are talking about advancement and habits. And I was just listening to this program on wealth building for entrepreneurs. And this is kind of program I've listened to this thing probably like 15 times already. But I like consuming this material over and over again because that's how you program things into the subconscious. One of the ways is through repetition. And anyway, one of the things that I caught this time listening through to the program was the trainer was talking about, because he was doing it in front of a live audience, so it was a recording of a live audience session that he did. And one of the things he was saying to one of the audience members was, in order to advance your business further, you have to emotionally get over the connection that you have to doing the things that got you to the level that you're at. Because if you're going to go to a higher level, then there are certain things that you're going to have to stop doing that logically you understand you're going to have to stop doing. And strategically, resource-wise, you have the tools to stop doing it and pass that job off, or just drop that job, or delegate it, or whatever you're going to do with that job, to hand it off to something or someone else. You already have the material to do it. The challenge for a lot of us is that we're so emotionally connected to our habits of the things that we've been doing up to this point that it's hard for us to drop the habit. It's not that we don't have the material, again, the ability, the knowledge, the information. We got all that stuff. It's just that we're so connected to our habits that it's hard for us to stop doing things simply because we've been doing them for so long. And when it comes to advancing, folks, and this is something that I've talked about on my masterclass, and I will talk about forever, because it's always going to be an issue for human beings who want to advance. The biggest thing is advancing is not about you getting better at the skill of the thing that you're doing most of the time. If you're already pretty good at what you're doing, getting better at the skill is not going to be the biggest difference. And it's not going to be working harder or working longer. Because usually if you're pretty good at the skill, you already understand the concept of working hard, and you probably already put in a lot of time. It's definitely not going to be working longer, because we all understand there's a limit to how much time we can work, regardless of your skill level or your effort level. It's a matter of seeing the things that we're gonna need to do in order to advance. Are we willing to emotionally drop the old stuff and at the same time simultaneously pick up the new stuff? And often the difference between people who advance and the people who don't is how much emotionally are you willing to drop, and at the same time, how much emotionally are you willing to pick up? And the longer it takes us to get over the emotional hump of dropping the old stuff and picking up the new stuff, that's how long it takes for us to get to success. Now, this message is specifically for those of you who are already at a certain level of competency at what you are doing. And a certain level of competency doesn't have to be some crazy amount. Let's just say if you're an entrepreneur, you're making enough money to take care of your necessities. You've made money before. You know how it happens. A lot of times we just keep doing the old stuff just because we're used to doing the old stuff. That's where it's our default. Our default setting is, okay, if I need to make some money, then this is the thing that I've traditionally done to go make some money, so let me go do it again. Or I need to achieve whatever outcome. This is what's worked in the past for me to get that outcome. Let me go do it again because that's what I'm used to doing. It's your default setting. And those are emotional connections we have to those. Habits are subconsciously programmed in us, and we become emotionally connected to them, especially when they've produced results for us in the past. And as soon as we can get over those, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and new opportunities. And the other piece of this is being willing to try out something that might get us to a different outcome. We have to subconsciously program that into our minds. We got to anchor it into our minds. Okay, this is a new way of doing things, and you know what? I'm going to stick to this new way. It's worked one time, which means it can work a second, third, fourth, and fifth time. But again, our default setting of whatever you've been doing for 30 years, you're comparing that to something that you've been doing for 15 minutes. Which one do you think is going to win? Of course, the default setting is always going to win. That's why we had to change the default setting. And the way we change the default setting is through our programming of our subconscious minds, not just what we are consciously thinking in the moment. So this is an ongoing process, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a one-time thing. It's something that we do over and over and over again to continually program our minds, not something that we just think one time or you watch one time on, for example, this YouTube video, and you're like, all right, my mind is programmed now because I heard what Dre said on YouTube. No, you got to do this over and over and over again until your mind has fully accepted what you're giving it. That's when you put yourself in a position to really make the lasting change, which becomes a habitual change, not just a one-time activity change. So I hope everybody got that. All that said, make sure workonyourgameuniversity.com. If you want to work with me directly, I'm talking to people who want to be top 2% performers, or those of you who are already top 2% performers. I said workonyourgameuniversity.com. Work on your game. Dre all day.